Bum 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 bum. Alrighty, so apparently yet another day that ends in a Y has made the internet mad at Kirsha and probably Rev says Desu as well, along with, I don't know, probably a myriad of other normal-headed VTuber types. So let's see here. What does the Rev have to say? Let's make sure we get, what is this? Let's get that out of our way. There we go.
So at this point, I owe a lot of debt to Kirsha for producing non-stop content relating to her, where in the VTubing scene, the usual suspects are constantly seething and biting her ankles for the hopes of attention and validation from their peers, complaining about how problematic she is, while not
Okay, so, what's the problem? She gave an honest opinion about something and didn't kowtow to the mob. I'm just guessing here.
being able to articulate a single reason as to why. So as always,
Because they're jealous people like her and they don't like them.
Munya, glory to the Fox woman, all that sort of stuff. But we're going to be looking at two different situations. The first one involving a small VTuber essentially bullied into submission for simply posting about Kirsha, not even expressing support, just posting about her. And in the second situation, a very stunning and brave individual is going to explain why Kirsha, myself, and my girlfriend are such awful, irredeemable people. And of course, their sources are because I said so. So let's check.
No, Rev. I mean, you gotta say the sources are probably, well, Blue Sky and Reddit. I mean, those are good sources, right?
Jump right into that first situation. This is the sort of follow up post.
Let's see, what is that? Spacious. These past few days have been difficult. I just wanted to share something unexpected I encountered on my travels and had to share, not knowing I was getting myself into, or not knowing what I'm getting myself into. Okay.
After everything happened, this VTuber Lottie saying, "These past few days have been difficult. I just wanted to share something unexpected I encountered on my travels." Well, this is the now deleted post from this small VTuber right here. It says, "I was driving and saw this VTuber billboard." Of course, it features Kirsha. Seen
That is awesome. Are you kidding me? If I drove by somewhere in my fucking yeehaw town and saw a Kirsha billboard, I'd put that shit up too. That's fucking cool as shit.
seems very innocuous, right? You're a VTuber and you're driving around town and you see a giant billboard featuring someone like Kirsha. Pretty cool moment, something you want to share. Now, this is nothing new. A lot of
I mean, because the billboard and shit, right? That just shows that, like, VTubing and PNG tubing and all that shit is starting to kind of get mainstream. It's being more accepted by people. The only bad thing is the fact that it's getting more mainstream. And, well, yeah. Think about what happens with video games and comic books. And sorry, but coming up next, anime, when it hits mainstream. It all goes to shit.
VTubers have ended up on billboards like Kirsha, and doing so causes immense levels of seething among the usual suspects who are out in full force in the replies of this now deleted tweet saying, "Oh boy, not this grifter. Yeah, she's a bigot grifter, Lottie. Oh, it's the bigot. I wouldn't pay her any mind." Now, this meme is evergreen. They keep using that phrase, grifter, like they have any idea what it actually means.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they do use the grifter thing. How so many people use the word grifter, and they're like, "Well, if you go toward the right, you're a grifter because you're doing it to make money." I'm going to tell you right now, the people who lean completely to the right, and I'm just right of center. Okay, I'm not like hardcore I don't know, maybe I am a little hardcore, right? I mean, I'm a faithful man. I don't think that men can be women. Okay, maybe I'm a little toward the quote unquote bigot side. But you know what? Hey, that's okay. Um, but they don't really get it because if you were grifting, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would be leaning all toward the fucking like lefty bullshit if I were a grifting person. Hell, maybe if I lean that way, I would actually fucking get subscribers and shit. But you know what? Hey, moving on.
Grifter means someone who is sharing beliefs for monetary gain that they themselves don't actually believe. They can never prove why people like Kirsha or myself are grifters, despite calling us that all the time. In fact, our sort of ideology and what we cover and what we do is the exact opposite of grifting. It threatens our sponsorships and opportunities because we speak our minds without worrying about whether or not it's going to appease companies and what have you. This is the
Yeah, I can tell you firsthand that shit does threaten sponsorships. It does threaten money coming in. I can't say, but I did have a discussion with a electronics company that was very nice enough to be like, hey, you know, we know you don't have shit as far as followers and subscribers and shit go, but we're willing to check you out because the only thing they had seen is some gaming stuff. I warned them about some of my other content, and they were like, yeah, you know what? Sorry, but you're just not a good fit for us anymore. So, uh, yeah, if there's anybody looking to help a brother out, I mean, a white, pasty, gray-haired brother, but still a brother out, it'd be nifty. In the description, there is a link for Doobie Energy. Those, though they're nice enough to still keep me there. So, let's go.
worst examples of grifters you could ever come up with. It doesn't even make sense on its face. But you can see more comments like this user saying, oh, hey, it's the right wing grift VTuber who said ICE wasn't doing enough when they offed Americans and hangs out with Asmongold and Tectone. Ah, a full grown adults follow policing people and also just espouting more nonsense about Kirsha. And you look at their account, I mean, why are you following me, right? Wouldn't that make you bad by your own standard? But you can
Is there pronouns manager? What the hell is asexual? Ace or what the fuck is that? Is what is that? I don't. Well, tweets and opinions are my own. Yes, tweets and opinions should always be your own.
see they're a VTuber manager slash mod. Here's a word of advice for VTubers out there. 99% of these VTuber managers are complete scams, right? Like they have no positive advice that's actually going to be worth any sort of price or
Yeah, you know how I know they're complete scams? Because I have them fucking try and get me all the goddamn time. Excuse me, I have to adjust. Like, I'm always getting messages on fucking X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Well, I think you should do this. Have you thought about spending money here? I'm a manager. I can help you get seen by more people. By doing what? The same thing I'm already doing? Putting all my shit out there and hoping it sticks with somebody? That's all they're going to do. Or how about the accounts that will retweet one of your tweets to one of their 300,000 bots, which I fell for. I fell for it one time. I paid money to have some fucking botted account because I didn't know any better retweet like two or three of my things and two or three of my tweets. And yes, sure. The views on those tweets got like higher than usual, like a couple thousand, which for me is like really fucking good. Normally it's in somewhere between 20 and maybe 100, which I appreciate every fucking one of you who view my shit. Thank you very much. Um, but yeah, I fell for that shit. And when I went back, because I got a message from them saying, "Oh, hey, did you like your tweets?" Well, I don't know. I never saw the fucking thing. So I had to go dig through their Twitter page, to find them to find the ones where they shared them, right? And I'm kind of rambling for a sec, but you hold on with me, okay? And I went into the replies, and they're all bots. I went into the replies on mine, and they were the vast majority of bots. So, yeah, don't fall for that shit.
Investment you give in them. And here's a great example. This guy who's supposed to be a VTuber manager is going off and slandering and seething about other VTubers. Probably the worst thing you could do, especially as someone trying to gain traction towards legitimate career success, not getting validation from other VTubers on Twitter by complaining about problematic ones.
I mean, yeah, but this is something that they've learned from like movies and the movie industry and Hollywood and the music industry and all that shit, because you have the fucking retards in Hollywood going, "Well, if you don't like my stuff, if we don't agree on politics, you don't need to watch my movie. If you're one of those MAGA people, you don't need to watch my movie. It wasn't made for you, you fucking dirtbag." And you have the same people in the music industry. Didn't fucking Lizzo just not too long ago go, "Well, if you're MAGA, or you're right, or Republican, or whatever it was, something like that, my music wasn't made for you." Oh no, if you're white, my music wasn't made for you. So they're literally pushing half their audience away. They're literally pushing half their customers away. So when fucking dipshits like this Just Awesome Bear do that shit, is it really a surprise?
Actual, tangible, long term success as a content creator. This is a terrible example of that. But here's another reply from this user saying, "She's unfortunately a right wing grifter, hella transphobic, and racist from what I've seen." Well, I'm sure everything you see comes off as transphobic and racist.
Yeah. She's so transphobic that the only thing I remember her actually really ever saying, and from time to time, in a joking way, don't get me wrong, is that men cannot be women and women cannot be men. You are what you are born as, which is the absolute truth. I'm sorry. You cannot pretend that you are something other than you were born as. And no, probably not one of the less than 1% of people on the entire planet who are born hermaphrodite. Sorry. It don't work that way.
Because these people live in a truly diabolical existence where everything is constantly an existential threat to them. And I tried to look into this account, and this was their page, and I'm just like, whoa, like bright colors.
What the flying horse fuckers is that? What account is that? Is that an X? I mean, if I can do that to an X account, I want to. I mean, I don't want to do that. The bright color bullshit. I mean, okay, fucking hell.
So much dopamine in your
It's like a fucking MySpace page.
face. I learned absolutely nothing and decided this is more than enough. I don't need to look any further. But here's another string of replies to the original post. This person saying, "Ain't she that weirdo, anti-woke grifter?" And then Lottie says, "I don't know who she is. I haven't been in the VTuber community for a year now." So right off the bat, there's no such thing as the VTuber community. At best, there's a VTubing scene, but there's no hive mind community. The thing you should always focus
Well, no, Rev, I'm gonna push back on that just a little bit, man. There is a hive mind VTuber community, but unfortunately for them, they're also stuck on the uh everything has to be some type of woke messaging, bullshit politics, or whatever. They're so aligned with each other that it doesn't really matter. They're starting to be ignored. Um, so there is, I think, a bit of a stretch there. I think there is a VTuber community. I just don't think that it's as strong as it was, say, 2 years ago. I think more independent VTubers and PNG tubers, like me, hopefully, are starting to gain more traction.
Focus on is your community. That's all that matters. Build your own community. That's the best route you can go. Stop trying to appease all the VTubers around you. They're going to give you horrible advice. They're
Yeah,
going to
fuck them.
distract you from making content. That's the worst focus you can have. But someone clarified in the reply saying, she's like center right and more politically outspoken than most VTubers. That's about it, really. The rest is just a fun time with video games, reading articles, regard noises, and pterodactyl screeching. Come watch if you like. Stay for the things you enjoy. Now, unfortunately, that Lottie individual would be bullied into submission. They would be led astray here, where they would quote themselves and delete this as well, saying, when I posted the billboard photo, I wasn't aware of the controversy involving the VTuber. I shared it because it happened.
Yeah, there's no actual controversy uh regarding Kirsha. Everything that's been said about her has been proven to be absolutely wrong. So, fuck it.
I happened to see it in public. Not a statement of support. I've learned since more about the situation, and I absolutely do not support anyone that spreads hate. Now, of course, they've been led astray here. They can't even cite as to why Kirsha is so hateful and spreading so much
Because we said so, that's why.
hate. But you can see the sort of mentality here. Uh, Person just posts an observation, completely neutral, gets bombarded with real hate. It's not Kirsha, it's not the fans, it's these other VTubers this person is so concerned about who are flinging hate at them for simply making the original post. And you can see one reply.
Yeah, isn't that weird how they blame it's projection, right? They're always blaming people like Kirsha, Rev, a myriad of other VTubers, YouTubers, streamers, whatever, of being completely hateful and all that shit. But they can never actually give examples. They can never say, hey, here on this particular stream, she said this, and here's the full and actual context of what she was saying. And I believe it's hateful for these reasons. No, they can never actually do that. They're just like, oh no, it's hateful because I said so. Someone on Blue Sky or Twitter or Reddit or whatever said it was hateful, and I believed them. Right? They never actually come up with a real example as to why. And when they do actually show a clip in the video or something from a video or stream or whatever, it's like 3 seconds of something taken completely out of context. One of those things that if you were to watch the 15 seconds before and the 15 seconds after, you would get a completely different vibe from that particular clip. You know what I mean?
Here that's going to lead us into the next situation. This was on the previous post saying, ew, this is one of the most despised VTubers in this space. She's a right-wing extremist and blatant racist who uses her platform to crap on immigrants and attack others who don't fall in line with.
Well, let's see. By attacking immigrants, if you're saying if you're illegal, you should get the fuck out. Yeah, I agree.
Their politics. First of all, incredibly ironic saying people are being attacked for not falling in line. That's exactly what happened to this VTuber, right? Just by posting Kirsha, they were snapped back into position forcibly. But also, you can see just more and more whining and labels of extremism and racism with no source. But don't worry, this individual, this Ayumi person, this she-it, is going to
Oh, fuck.
clarify with full proof that Kirsha is truly the evil person everyone claims. So they say this: Kirsha defenders, when they ask you for proof, she's a Nazi. Defender, she's not a Nazi, but her Nazi conspiracy theory is true, actually, and being a Trump fan doesn't make you a Nazi. Okay, Nazi. And you can see this interaction where basically they're just saying, if you're disputing my claim, you are a Nazi. It's a bold strategy.
Let's see. Let's go back. White's most great replacement conspiracist. Well, that's kind of been proven because they were bringing in a shitload of shithole country people to vote a particular way. Now, do I think that's great replacement as far as just white people? No. I personally think that's great replacement in the terms of let's just make it so that the country will only vote one way forever. That's pretty much the only thing I see on that. Named herself after a literal Nazi. No. It's a German word, not a Nazi. Trump superfan. Plenty of times Kirsha has gone against what Trump has said and done, so no. Turbo racist and anti-immigration. Well, you know what? I am also anti-immigration. As long as we have people in America that are struggling, we don't fucking need to bring people from other countries that are also struggling so we can pay for them too. Massive disinformation megaphone. Well, if you've ever actually watched or paid attention to anything Kirsha has said, excuse me, the majority of the time she pulls up the articles she is reading or the papers that she is reading on stream so that you too can see the information for yourself. Anyway, moving the fuck on.
Strategy, and we see this all the time, but of course, everyone I don't like is a Nazi is really just the Twitter and blue sky mentality. But this is really the logic that we're dealing with here. This person says, Ayumi is a Nazi. Proof? She's a Nazi. I say she's a Nazi. All the Nazi dog whistles only me and totally not Nazis can ever hear. You see, if you're regarded enough, everyone is a
regarded. Come on, Rev. Say the word. Say the word. Say the word, brother. You can do it. Retarded.
Nazi. Yeah, if you're going to claim someone as that label with no proof, just vibes, I mean, why not just do it back to them until they can prove otherwise, which, you know, proving a negative is a pretty tall task for anyone to do. But if they're going to fling that around, I mean, how are they going to disprove this? They like to operate on no proof.
That's it. That is the perfect response to every time someone on Twitter or Blue Sky or Reddit or whatever, or YouTube or anywhere, calls you a Nazi. Your response needs to be, well, okay, Nazi.
Proof, just vibes. So that's unfortunately their logic. But then you can see some people disputing the claims where Ayumi says correct. That's not the great replacement theory. This user says the only difference is thinking it's the Jews instead of the UN. She doesn't think the Jews are doing it. Take your meds. And then Ayumi says she literally does. And the other user says she literally does not. And then the original poster says she does. So it's literally like covering their ears and just going la 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 la, Kirsha bad, la 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 la. I won't hear what you have to say.
La 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 la. Someone who's doing better than I am is bad. Blah la 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 la. The green-eyed jealousy thing is really out there right now. La 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 la.
Say, literally, it's so childish and intellectually dishonest. But I mean, what do you expect? from these individuals. And then the truth comes out, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this post saying, tell me you don't watch Kirsha's streams or content and just mindlessly regurgitate slanderous lies about someone you dislike because it gives you the good feels without telling us. And the Ayumi individual says, why would I ever watch a Kirsha stream? Oh. It's another person who's just like, yeah, I know a Nazi when I see one. I don't have to.
Yeah, why would I go out and get the information that I need to make an actual decision about something when I can just let other people tell me what to think? Why would I want to live in a free and just society when I can just live in 1984?
To know anything about them or actually see their content. I just know it, okay? Trust me. But of course, this individual has a little RDS too. The KDS, not enough. They have the Rev derangement syndrome as well, where apparently they ended up in one of my recent videos. I think they were like a 30-second cameo at one point, and that prompted a tweet on the 18th saying, made it in another Rev video. Hi Rev, you're literally a bottom feeder, living off the scraps of the VTuber community's drama, grifting into right-wing reactionary slop because the content wasn't flowing as fast as you'd hoped. Your girlfriend is a hypocrite with skeletons in her closet. Wow.
Wait, Rev has a girlfriend? Has anybody told Stripe about this? Has anybody told his wife that Rev also has a girlfriend? That might be an issue. I think that might make her kind of upset.
Wow, they're really mad. Besides the seething right here at the top, there's a lot of funny things going on here. I mean, number one, they go after my girlfriend, which is really weird. If you're seething so much about me, you're going after the person I'm with. At least get the lore right. We've been married almost 3 years, okay? Like, put some respect on wife's name, okay? And also, this last part doesn't even make any sense. They say she's a hypocrite with skeletons in her closet. And someone asks, what kind of skeletons? And can't people become better and change? And then they say she has objectively become worse. How does someone have skeletons in their closet if they become worse? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, this is the level of logic we're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. But this user would ask, enlighten me how she is worse. There was no answer. No proof, just vibes, ladies and gentlemen, and, well, it's what you expect. But you know what? Something's very wrong when you realize the pinned tweet of their account is a clip where I was talking about one of their tweets defending Deme and crashing out, labeling everyone who is criticizing Deme as every ist and phobe they could think of, and I can think of nothing more pathetic than literally branding your account with me while claiming how irrelevant and awful I am. Like, clearly I take up enough head.
Well, obviously, because people see the pinned account of Rev or the pinned comment of Rev and go, oh, this person must be at least halfway interesting. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, never mind, they're full of shit.
Headspace in your mind.
And I'm speaking about Ayumi, of course.
To make you want to clip when I talk about you and then pin it to your account, like literally a dunce cap for everyone to see. But they're not done. This, of course, was talking about them being in the video, and this person says, based. If you made Rev says dumbass upset, stay strong. First of all, that insult doesn't even work. If I'm saying it, that means I'd be saying it to someone else.
Yeah, dumbasses.
What are you talking about? I mean, nice try, but in the replies, they would link the video clip again. You know, of course, totally irrelevant, but like, hey, stranger on the internet, look at the thing. I was in the video. Look at this. I was in this totally irrelevant person's video. Please look. It's so hypocritical. But, of course, their derangement knows no bounds, ladies and gentlemen. In a completely irrelevant discussion, they call someone a random Rev simp, and that their opinion is completely irrelevant, and they're only a few months away from becoming a devout Christian, okay, and filling their hard drive with military wear inspo. This user's
What? Whatever.
reply is really all you can say. What? What are you even talking about? First of all, what do I have to do with anything in this conversation? Second of all, if these are the consequences here of, I guess, following my content, what are we even talking about? And then overall, what are we even talking about? This whole thing is very strange, a very strange fan fiction. And then I found one more here talking about some situation. I have no idea, and I'll explain why I don't know in a second. But they say, along with the post tagging Dragon's Tea and Hero Hay and Rev and other various content creators they want to grift through to, they won't delete it. And people will just believe it because the right is a bunch of gullible, brain-lit idiots. And here's the original source. It comes from a deleted post from a suspended account.
Of course it's deleted from a suspended account. Why wouldn't it be?
I'm sure it was an absolute gem, ladies and gentlemen, but that's really the situation.
Anyway, as usually, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you for another video later on. Bye-bye.